All right, how you guys doing? It's me, Jerry, with JKP Photography. Here we have a special guest on the podcast today, Brandon. He is a photographer here in Fresno as well. We work together for a few events and stuff like that, and he's part of the Fresno community. Just want to get him on the podcast today and just talk photography. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? My name is Brandon. Excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me, bro.
No problem.
It's it's funny because every time like you do something, I just want to be a part of it because like you really did help me grow. You kind of like got me out of a stuck spot when you first asked me to help you out on some stuff, and I'm like, man, like I really got to get with Jerry because that man be moving.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So yeah, my name is Brandon. I have a photography business. I mainly do weddings, but I'm like going into like I'm trying to be more like Jerry, so I'm trying to get into everything.
Stop it.
So right now, like I'm doing weddings and portraits, but I'm gonna move up to doing like events and things like that. My wife and I started our business probably like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it's so I have my own business, which is Brandon Don't Shoot Photography, and then my wife and I have a joint business called JKP Photos, and that's where we do weddings together.
Okay. So are you from Fresno?
Yes and no. So I was born in Madera, and then I was raised like half my life in Madera, and then I was really bad growing up. So I got kicked out of middle school, and when I got kicked out of middle school, I got suspended from a school, and
that's
then
why you changed your life, huh?
Facts. I got suspended from a school, and after I got suspended from a school, I ended up having to go to like this district board meeting where they were going to discuss if I'm going to be like expelled or not.
That happens to me too.
Yeah, I've never been. That was crazy. So I got expelled from the district.
Wow,
bro, from the district.
I didn't get expelled, but it almost happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it almost happened.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy. So I got expelled, and that's when we moved. We had to move to Fresno because I couldn't go to Madera Unified School District.
Out the whole district.
Yeah, the whole district. So. I was bad. I was a bad kid.
I got a similar story. Okay, so why photography? Tell me about how it all started and why you decided to pick up a camera.
Man, how it all started. So when I was probably like 14, I think I got like I bought my first disposable camera from like Walgreens. And I started taking pictures with that, just with my friends and stuff like that. And I ended up started making these like collages. Like I would take these pictures and then I would get them printed and I would put them on these boards and like make these huge collages. And I'm talking about they were like, I don't know, maybe like 24 by 16, like just made a bunch of them. And then my friends was like, oh man, that's dope. Like, let me get one. So I was like making them for my friends for like $5. And it was like, oh man, it's like a little cool little gig I got going on. Ended up, doing photography, not really knowing that I was doing it. But like from 14 all the way till 21, I always had a camera with me. I didn't even notice I could like make money with it until my uncle came up to me and was like, bro, like you're pretty good at this. Like you should really try to make this work. I was like, Unc, you playing? Like I can't make no money doing this. Like I got to do construction. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it really wasn't until my parents, they owned a restaurant and I worked at the restaurant and then they ended up moving to South Carolina. And when that happened, it was like, yo, what are we going to do? Like how are we going to make it in life? I ended up getting a bunch of jobs that just didn't bring me life. And then one day, long story, but like one day I became a youth pastor. God changed my life. And the crazy thing was I had a kid in my youth group who was selling drugs.
Wow.
And he was like, I was telling him like, bro, you going to get yourself in trouble, da-da-da. And he was like, well, if you give me something else to do, I don't want to sell drugs, but my mom don't have money to give me the things that I need. Like I need new shoes. I'm not going to school looking like a bum. Like I need to find what I need to get. I need to get what I need to get. So I was like, if I find you a new venue or a new thing to do, would you do it? He was like, for sure. So I asked the church if we can buy a camera and we can like do this camera thing with me and this boy. And he was like, the church was like, yeah, for sure, let's do it. So they bought us a camera. I think it was like a Canon 60D.
Okay, that's a good camera.
So yeah, we got that.
It's hot in here, you guys. Excuse us.
Oh yeah,
we have to turn off the fans to make sure the audio is not, too crazy. So
definitely
we're sweating. Wiping our face is hot. Fresno's hot. It's a heat wave going on.
It's like 110 today.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot.
It's crazy. But we ended up getting the camera. We got like a nifty 50 at the time, and then as we that mug was and it was crazy.
We did the podcast before this, and everybody started with the nifty 50.
Bro,
that's crazy
because it's cheap and it works well. Like that's one of the things I was even telling some of my younger photographers. Like I'm like, y'all, like don't. Like, I know you see me, and you see me with the R6, and you see me with the 28 to 70, and you see me with the 70 to 200, Like that took years to obtain. Like y'all just started.
Not overnight.
Yeah, it's not overnight. It's not overnight at all. So you got to like really do like put in work before you get here. Unless you just had someone to front you. Like if they was like, yeah, we'll pay for everything. Like, okay, do your thing. But like we had to start a nifty 50 and like he started off like just he was doing like school, like senior photos. And he went like it was probably like the first week that we were doing photography. He had like 6 people in his family. Was like, yeah, I need pictures, I need pictures, I need pictures. And they was like, how much you charge? So he come to me like, hey, how much did I charge? I'm like, bro, just charge him like $100. I'm like, don't overdo it. Yeah. So he was like, yeah, I'm gonna charge him $200. That boy was on the hustle, but they paid it. Yeah. They paid it. So that's kind of like what got me all the way into photography, because it was being able to see that like not only can this be a gift for me, but this can be a gift for other people to even get them out lifestyles that are not like bringing honor to God or even bringing them like true meaning in life. Yeah. So that started like saying to me, this can be more than just photography for myself. I can be photography for other people, the next generation, and like kind of give an avenue to people who may be struggling finding their way as a creative.
That's a good story, man. That's actually a good story. I would never know. So are you like in charge of the photography part of the youth ministry in the church? Like, do you have more people coming like, hey, I want to learn photography? How's that go?
Yeah, I mean, as of late, yeah, for sure. We ended up doing a photography camp for Fresno Unified School District. And in that photography camp, a lot of people came out the woodworks like, yo, I want to learn. And not just kids, but adults too. So recently my wife and I have been talking about developing a photography class, something that like, just some like one-on-one classes, just like teaching like simple things, or not simple things, but the basics like aperture, ISO, how to adjust the camera, how to use the camera, shutter speed, things like that. And so we're hoping in the future to like develop this thing and do it like twice a year, where we let people like sign up for the class, they take it, they learn these things, and then they do the beginner class, and they do the intermediate class, and then probably in the future do like a more advanced one.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. So, got a question for you. Mm-hmm. Did you teach your wife photography, or your wife taught you photography?
So actually taking the pictures is something I taught myself.
Okay.
But posing, like I'm trash at posing. Okay. Absolute trash. So like it was hard. It is hard. Yeah. So what ended up happening is my wife came in and was like, hey, these pictures look great. These people, like you got to like fix the way that you're like making them look. Cause what's happening is like, for me, I'm trying to be all Vogue like. So I'm like, hey, do this and do that. Like I like do all these like weird poses.
It wasn't fitting them.
And it wasn't fitting their personality. So then for me, I'm thinking like, dang, I'm taking away from like this person's personality because I'm trying to make them into what I want them to be, not what they want to be. So then Jess came in and she was like, let them like, number one, get to know them. Yeah. So like find out what they like, what they don't like. If they like being outdoors in an urban neighborhood or an urban environment, things like that. So I was like, you know what, you're right. So she came in and like taught me how to pose and really just taught me how to like let people be them and not try to create my own like model from another person's perspective.
That's smart. That's smart, because posing is always hard. I struggle with it a little bit today, not like I used to.
Ain't no way.
Yeah,
no way, bro.
So what my strategy is, because I don't want to put somebody in a posing position where they're not comfortable in. Yeah. So when I first do a session, I tell them to freestyle. While you're freestyling your pose, I'm identifying what kind of theme you're going at. I'm looking at your body language. I'm looking at your face. Okay, now I know where I can pose you. Then I adjust you accordingly. Because the first pose you do, okay, now I see what kind of style you're going. Because I don't want you doing something you're not comfortable with.
So yeah, because you can see it in the camera.
Exactly.
And that's what I've been just like noticing. It's like when someone looks uncomfortable, you can take a picture of that. It may be the firest aesthetic you've ever had, but if the model don't look comfortable,
it's not gonna work.
It don't work.
It's uncomfortable,
and then they don't like their photos either. And that's your client.
So I actually got 2 posing books. We'll look at it before we leave here.
Hey, let's go.
I brought 2 posing books. They're pretty good. So I noticed people struggle with it, and instead of me doing all the work, what I'm gonna do is have it on display for them to see. They can go through the poses and pick them.
Oh, that's smart.
So that's what I did. I just updated
that's hecka smart.
So you ain't gotta struggle with it.
Yeah.
You see something you like? All right. And one thing about posing is the clients don't really prepare before the photo shoot. They just show up. True. And you know what the line they say? What do I do?
What do I do?
I hate that. I absolutely hate when they say that.
What do I do?
Can you pose me?
I was like, I don't know what you need to do.
Just do a little homework. Go look at a few magazines. Yeah. And then practice and then come. and then it'd be easier on both of us.
So one of the things that I've learned, so I follow this lady on YouTube and Instagram. Her name is Caitlin James, I think. Mm-hmm. She's a wedding photographer, and she's incredible. She lives in Virginia, but one of the things that she does with all of her clients, well, now she's like she only books weddings 10 grand and up. So like she kind of like up there. Yeah, she got money. And she only booked like 5 or 6 a year.
Well,
yeah.
10,000. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
You good.
So she said
she white?
She is white, yeah.
But
she's white, but
people like us can't get that kind of money.
Well, I don't think I think it is harder, but I think eventually you can have it. And the only reason I say this is because of the way that she has done it. I think it is duplicatable, no matter like who you are. Because what she did is she tried to like teach people like what photography really is and like how to like. She doesn't just like let a client just come in like blank. So like she's like, hey, if you want to book me, you got to read this. Yeah. And if you don't finish this, then like you're not my client. Yeah. And she's not booking no one outside of like her dream
I
client.
hate to steer it this way because I love white people. I love all people of all different races and sizes. But I feel like when it comes to wedding, when I go on YouTube, first I don't see any really black people doing weddings. I mean, if I have, I'm missing them. But I always see white people and they're charging a large amount of 6 figures.
Yeah.
Doing weddings. I'm like, how are you guys doing that? But they're charging $10,000 weddings. I'm thinking
$20,000.
Like, that's hard for us. We can't. People will not. If we say 10,000, I'm like, oh, really? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're gonna take us seriously.
Well, and then that's another thing. Like she's been doing photography for like 13 years or something like that. So she's been in it for a long time. But I think that what you do eventually is you just start to. You have to be okay with not booking the client. So like say like for us right now, especially for me, like booking weddings is something I need to do in order to survive. So it's not something I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I got this other job that I do have another job, but it's still not enough for what I got going on in my life. So like I have to book weddings. I have to book photo shoots in order to pay all of my bills, like for real. So one of the things that I had to do is like get comfortable with saying, which I did in the beginning, I got comfortable with saying no to people who were like, who couldn't afford me.
Low budget.
Yeah. And it's not that I have anything against you, but I'm just like saying like, unfortunately, like I believe that my skills and talents have like reached a new level. Yeah, and because of that, say no. And so it's like, unfortunately, and one of the things is like, I don't negotiate my price hardly ever. So like if I tell you like the base price is like $2,000 for a wedding, I'm not going any lower than $2,000. So like if you're gonna get $2,000, you're gonna get the very bare minimum. But I had to be okay with saying no to people who are like, well, I can give you $1,800. It's like, dang, $1,800, like that's really close to my base, but it's not my base. So like if you can't give me this extra $200 or not even this extra, if you can't reach this agreement, then we just can't be custom or you just can't be my client. And that's totally fine. I'm not judging you. And I'll even give you some people who will take the $1,800 for whatever you're doing. But I just can't do that. And I think that same thing that Caitlin James did was like, I'm just going to keep moving forward. And every time, like one of the things she started doing in the beginning is like every time she added new gear or a new service, she upped her price. And then for her clients that were like, and one of the things she did is really great. She has like a forever client package. So like basically if you get married if she is your wedding photographer, she'll also be your newborn and you're also your family and then all this kind of stuff. So she kind of like goes with you.
Keep that rapport.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
And she just keeps it going. So like if you book a client for $10,000, then the baby photos are like 5 G's. And you already like, okay, cool. Like this one family is going to bring me this much money in this amount of time. Yep. And she was able to track that.
Yeah, send me her information. I got to check her out.
Oh yeah, she's dope. And she gives a lot of stuff away for free. I was going to join her little
Facebook page.
Yeah, her Facebook page. So you got to pay to get in all that kind of stuff.
She want all the money.
Yeah. So, but the thing is like, that's another thing where I feel like as photographers, like we got to get more business minded and go beyond just like snapping photos. We got to get into like creating, which you did a great job, but you did it for free. You know, I appreciate you did it for free.
Yeah, I give,
but that kind of stuff,
give back.
Yeah, and you do, and I appreciate it.
I could have charged, but
and I'm telling you, bro, from what I learned, bro, the fact that I even bought that that reflector, like that was gold for me, and it changed the way I did photography, like completely. It even got me into lighting and wanting to use lights. And then you came to the gig with me at Bullard, like it makes me want to go further, and that kind of knowledge and that kind of encouragement. I would have paid for. I would have gladly paid for that. And I know that you a good guy, Jerry. Yeah. But at the same time, bro, like you got a family to feed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're not just doing this for you. You're doing it for your family, but you also have you have a whole demographic of people who could benefit from what you've already created here.
So the reason why I did it for free, of course I could have charged for it. Mm-hmm. I did it for free because I'm trying to build the Fresno community in photography. That's why I created the Facebook group page. Yeah. I'm trying to build a foundation of people like us, photographers, videographers, content creators, to come together in Fresno just to maybe go eat or something. Yeah. Maybe go shoot a flash mob or something. That's why I did it for free. It wasn't about the money. I'm trying to build a community, especially with us. I'm trying to.
Yeah, and it is hard to work with us.
Oh yeah. You know our people.
It's hard to work with us, and like I'm gonna be honest, man. Like just for my black photographers out there, photography is not a competition like that. No. There's too many people in Fresno. I mean, Fresno's not even a huge city.
But Fresno's big though.
It's huge. Yeah. Like you're not finna book every wedding. You're not finna book every event. You're not finna book every senior photo.
Look, I tell people all the time. It doesn't matter who books it, we're all getting paid at the end of the day. If you book it, you sign people on, paid. If I book it, I'm signing y'all on. We're getting paid.
We're all getting paid.
So it doesn't matter.
It should not matter. And another thing is like when you are, and this is something you taught me, if you are booking for any photographer, but I'm talking specifically to my black photographers, if you book anything or you want to book something and you don't know how to price that mug, please ask another photographer. Like don't, because number one, like, you got to understand people are going out looking for bids. So they're going to go around asking a bunch of photographers for prices so that they can say like, okay, cool. And most people are going to try to go with the cheapest, but the cheapest route is cheap is expensive to me. Like you can do cheap, but it's going to cost you way more than you ever thought it was going to cost you. So like, if you get someone to say, hey, I'll do a wedding for $500. Well, if me and Jerry can tell you doing a wedding for $500 is just not enough money. Like it's too much work. It's too much time. Like you got to do the whole day and then you got to turn around and do all the editing. Like that's way too much work. Yeah. And if you can't do it all, then you charge more and you add someone else on there with you. And then they can do this. They can work with you. So break it up. Exactly.
So that goes into my next question. Do you think that people respect photography, respect the art of photography?
I think people respect photography. They don't understand the value of photography. So one of the things I've been educating my clients on, I learned this from Caitlin James. If you want to take your prices up, if you want to like elevate in any level of photography, then you have to educate your clients. If they don't know, they don't know. There's nothing they can do about it.
So how are you educating them?
So the way that you educate them. So what I'm starting to do now is I don't tell my clients that they're taking pictures for right now. So yes, we're taking a picture today. But the picture that you're taking today is not for today. It's for the future. It's for 30-year-old you, 50-year-old you, 75-year-old you.
The moment that lasts.
Exactly. So like even like my wife and I, JMB Photos, our tagline is moments that last a lifetime, because we're literally taking a picture that one day you're going to look back and be like, man, I don't care how much that cost. Like, that picture or that session was $300.
It's priceless.
It's priceless. Like which is really sad, but this is really one of the reasons I started saying this is because I personally only have 2 pictures of my grandmother. 2 pictures. My grandmother died in 2005, and she died in 2008. And when she passed away, like everyone ran. Like I'm talking about family I ain't seen in years came to the house just to like divvy up the pictures. Everyone showed up to the crib to grandma's house and was like, all right, we're going to open up this box. And I'm telling you, grandma had, bro, like the size of this table, like a whole tub full of photos. And they opened that up and like people were like, okay, I'll take this one. I'll take this one. Oh, I'll trade you this picture for that picture. And like so after that day, all the pictures of my grandmother had like been stashed away at other people's houses. And to this day, like my mom, she ended up getting like, she got a lot, but like she's been like passing them out to people. And she gave each kid like 3 or 4 photos of grandma. And I literally, at this point, I lost one. I have no idea where it is. And only have 2 left. And I'm just like, it's even hard to show my kids what my grandmother was like because I don't have any pictures. So you got to educate your clients to say like, this is not for today. This is going to be for the future.
Yeah. You just brought up a good point. But about grandparents, I don't have pictures of my grandparents like that. Probably 1 or 2, but nothing actual high detail. If it was way back then where it's on film or something like that.
Yeah.
So like about a week ago, I decided that I'm gonna. I haven't posted it yet. I'm gonna do like portrait photos of like elderly, and I haven't came up if I'm gonna do it for free or if I'm gonna charge like a low amount of like $25.
Okay.
And they can come in and get a portrait shot, and because a lot of people don't have them.
Yeah,
so
that's a great idea, man. And I mean, if you need any help with that, I'm totally down.
Yeah, we'll put you on the
because
project.
I'm even trying to do this thing with my family. My mom, she kind of orchestrated this thing where she was like, "We're not gonna have the same thing that happened with her mom when her mom passed away, and we all had to divvy up these pictures. How about like we got the technology now to like get these all digital, so then everyone can have them. Yeah, there's no point in like, oh, we got to rush to the house and get these. Like she was like, we'll never do that again. But if we don't make photography, if we don't make photos a priority, we're just gonna keep talking about it and never do it. So like next year, she's literally like trying to get everybody to fly to one location. We just do like literally like it's like a family reunion, but like the emphasis on this reunion is making sure all these photos get taken of whoever. So she was like, I want to bring you. She's gonna bring me, my wife, and she was like, I got one other person here at my church who takes pictures. Like, y'all three work together to photograph literally our entire time together, so that we have them. And she was like, you can edit whichever ones you want, but like I don't really need them edited. I just really want you to do them. You can edit whatever you want to. But she was like, we just need these memories to be kept with us. And I was like, that's real, Mom. That's real.
I hope y'all get that. That's important for real.
Heck yeah.
So, question: is this full time or part time? I should have gave you a napkin, my man. You want me? I can get you a napkin real quick.
No, I think I'll be all right.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hot, but I like the conversation.
It's hot. Yeah, cool.
But it's a good conversation.
So, is the photography full time or part time for you?
It's part time. So, and the only reason it's part time is because I'm a youth pastor. Me and wife youth pastor at our church, and that brings me joy. So like I love doing it. I really wouldn't stop unless God told me to. But at this moment, like it's part time, but it's an essential part time. So it's almost more like half time. So which is actually crazy. I actually make more money from photography than I do from my actual job. And that's mainly just because like I put a lot of like effort into this and I'm trying to grow it. And one of the things like just scaling it has been a blessing so far. So I've been able to say, you know what, I'm not going to take any more like $1,500 clients for weddings. I'm only going to do 2,000 and above. And then even that has like drawn me into like more clients who are willing to pay that amount, who aren't tripping about it, which is unfortunate. None of them have been Black so far.
That's not the clients you need. So the clients you need is one that's going to pay you for what you're worth.
Absolutely.
In that price. Okay, is photography self-taught or did you go to any kind of school to learn photography?
Self-taught, mainly self-taught. But my uncle is a huge influence. He's a photographer. And he's incredible. He's old school though, so he's still like doing film and stuff like that.
Ain't nothing wrong with film.
Ain't nothing wrong with film at all.
Have you shot film before?
No, well, except for the time Hire let us use his camera.
Bro, you need to shoot film. It'll change your whole perspective.
Really?
Yes, you need to shoot film.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Yes.
I'm gonna hit up Hire on Instagram. Be like, hey,
that's
bro,
where it came from.
Yeah.
This digital stuff is new.
Yeah, it is new.
It's new technology to really. If you want to call yourself a photographer, every photographer should shoot film.
And that makes sense because I think at that point, when you only have a limited amount of shots you can actually take, you take more time to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, what your compositions look like. You're not just shooting all like.
It's just like somebody young now said, "Oh, LeBron's the best, Kobe's the best." Do you know about Jordan?
Yeah,
you're not doing your homework about Jordan. You know.
Yeah, you wasn't there in the beginning when it first started. Like the game is different now, but the game used to be like this.
You got to go back.
You got to go back.
You got to change it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So self-taught.
So definitely self-taught.
Okay, let's see what else we have here. Excuse me. This is like my second podcast, so
hey, this is great, man.
I'm gonna get better with the notes and the questions and the conversations. Okay, so how do you balance life? I know you say your wife is a photographer and you a photographer as well. You guys got your individual thing and you got your group thing.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that with life and family, and being a photographer with your wife? Like how's that work?
Man, so in the beginning it was rough because she wasn't a photographer, or she didn't want to be in it. So I ended up having to like do everything like on my own. And same with like youth pastoring too. So like I became a youth pastor first, and I was like, hey, you should come along with me and do this. And she's like, nah, I'm okay, I'm good. And then eventually she came along with it. So one of the ways that like we were able to make this balance work better is like we integrated our lives. So we just said, you know what, we do a lot of things that are similar. How about we just try to do the same thing? Like, see if we could like be in the same industries, work in the same spots, even like get our jobs to like come together. So we ended up becoming youth pastors together. Now she's on part time. I'm on part time at the church. And then we're doing this wedding thing together. So now we spend a ton of time together. And then we really try not to do a bunch of stuff like that we can't bring our kids to, because that's one of the things that we just been like, man, her parents worked a lot, so she didn't have a whole bunch of time with her mom. She had more time with her dad, but still not as much as she would like. I didn't have a bunch of time with either one of my parents because they worked a ton. So like growing up, I was like, man, if I'm gonna be a parent, like I want to be the parent that's like there for my kids, going to their assemblies, going to their awards.
They're seeing you guys working, so they're gonna be photographers.
Exactly. So I mean, even
a whole company family of photographers, you know?
Yeah, because I'm hoping that I mean, if they go into photography, great. I want my kids to do something that brings them joy at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're eventually going to just get a job. Like, that's just everyone's struggle. You got to get a job. But that doesn't mean that you can't become your own boss or be an entrepreneur, or at least do something that brings you life. Like, you don't have to be an entrepreneur, because my dad, he was in construction, and he tried to push me into construction, and I hated it, like every moment of it. And I never knew how to tell him, I don't want to do this without like disappointing him. And then I eventually told him, and then we got into this huge argument. But like later on, he was just like, son, I respect you, because like you're doing something that you love to do. He loves construction. He can do that thing. He can do it until he dies. That's his main thing. It's his passion. Yeah, he loves to build. I like to build too, but when I want to, not because someone's paying me to do it. But I can do pictures all day long. Like I can do this forever.
All the time.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you. That's some good information right there. What's your favorite subject to shoot? If you're doing a portrait, do you prefer one-on-one? Do you prefer family, events? What is your favorite?
Man, that's such a tough one, because I was gonna say family, but just like, and I really hate to say this, but families, if your kids are well behaved, if your kids are not well behaved, those kind of family shoots are they're like stressful.
Bro, I did a shoot with a family, or it wasn't even family, it was just a kid, and they wouldn't do it. I feel bad because the people paid me.
Yeah.
This is what we
and I can't control how your child behaves.
There's some photographers that really are good at that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now I know my strength and weaknesses. Like I offer newborns and kids stuff, but that's not my strength. But if you really want it, I can do it. Yeah. But it's not my, No,
it's not my forte.
Yeah.
But I would have to say like probably portraits, like one-on-one portraits. Like I like when people, especially if they're like really good, and I'm able to show people like, hey, look at this, what y'all look like. So like couples, that's one of my favorite things to do, because I love like turning the camera around and being like, hey, look at this, like this is y'all, and they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. So it would probably be couples, and then after that it would be like solo lifestyle shoots. Yeah.
So how do you feel about the photography community here in Fresno? Do you think it needs to be better? Or it's kind of weak?
Oh, man.
How do you feel about it? Do you feel like you can go talk to a local photographer? Because you mentioned this lady online that you look up to.
Yeah.
Could you go locally and go into a group of photographers and say, hey, let's hang out. Let's have a discussion about photography. Is that available for you in Fresno?
So I have to say yes, because I know you. So it wasn't until you came along into my life and was like, hey, like I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get a group of photographers together. Like that was the first introduction to where I was like, man. And I'm gonna be honest. Before then, I had met like 3 or 4 photographers who were like, I don't know. They seemed like they wanted to be my friend,
but not really. They don't want to help you. They don't want to tell you no.
Yeah, there's like trade secrets. They're not secrets. Like you can find on YouTube.
They don't want to see nobody scale or grow. They just focus on themselves.
Yeah,
and they're not building no community.
So that was my first experience, like trying to hang out with these photographers, and they were like,
why I created a group?
Why?
Because I had nobody to look up to when I started. I had nobody. Absolutely.
Dang, you did all this with
by myself.
No way.
Yes.
Dang, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. But I'm glad you exist. Yeah, man. Because I mean, honestly, like this is, it's such a blessing. One, just like when you have questions about something, that you don't have to wait for a response, or you don't have to like watch an entire video to get the one answer that you're looking for. You can be like, hey, Jerry, man, I got this rig. I'm trying to do this. Have you ever used it before? Boom. Oh yeah, do this, and this. All right, cool. End the conversation. Like, especially if you can do that like while you're on set or while you're at a shoot, and be like, just, hey, hey, my light's not working. Like, I'm not sure what's happening. Oh, this, and this. Because imagine like you at a shoot and you trying to hop on YouTube to find out how to do something.
Doing too much.
It's doing way too much.
Like it's good to have some people local
Yeah.
to talk to about gear, like art, you know.
Yeah, or even like what gear to get. So like my thing is I don't like wasting money. Like it's just like I don't want to get something super cheap to where it's going to work for me for like 5 sessions and then it's going to burn out. One thing I even learned this from you, like it's how important sandbags are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe we play some B-roll clip of my life.
Man, I'm telling you, that was like really important. Cause like, I mean, truthfully, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like you think about like, okay, cool. Like this is heavy or this is, man, I'm not gonna lie. You don't even think about the wind at all when you're going to a shoot until the wind becomes an issue. Now you're like, oh snap, like dang it, I don't have this on that. So I went on to a shoot. I actually did my last maternity shoot that I did. I didn't bring no sandbags. And as soon as I got out there, I was like, this ain't gonna work.
Nope.
This is gonna start falling over. So we ended up putting the little backdrop together, and lo and behold, it started falling over left and right. And I was like, I just want to get one shot with this thing. So I had like or 2 shots. So I had my wagon hold down one side. So I literally like put my wagon on the little thing that you twist. So I like sat a part of my wagon on that, so it would hold one side, and I put my backpack on the other side, and it held it down for like at least like 25 seconds.
The backpack worked too.
Yeah,
I used a backpack on the C-stand. And
so it started working for at least those 4 shots that we got, and it was like, hey, that's all we can get. That's all we can get.
Make sure you guys get sandbags for your life stands.
Sandbags
save you a lot of money.
Heck important.
Okay, what's your favorite lens and why? Because I seen you put the nifty 50 online. I'm
Bro.
like, don't get rid of the nifty.
I had to do it, man. Well, mainly because like the 28-70 covers the 50, so there's really no reason to have one. But that prime, I ain't gonna lie, it's fire. And that thing sold heck fast.
I always wanted that lens and I never got it.
What?
Yeah, I never got the 5D Mark 3 or 4, and I never got the 50.
Wait, you never got the Mark 4?
No, I couldn't afford it at the time.
What did you have before you got these?
My first camera I got was a T3i. From the T3i, I went to a 70. It's a crop sensor. All these are crop sensors. And then for my crop sensor, the first full frame I got was a 60.
No way.
I never had the Mark 5 at all.
What?
I always wanted it. Everybody had it.
That's crazy, bro. I thought.
Then from the 60, I went to the mirrorless.
The R5?
The R.
Oh, the R. Yeah. That's crazy,
I
bro.
never had the Mark 3. I always wanted it. I might get it just to put up there because that's the camera that all the photographers had. And
they cheap now too. So it's like you can get one for like $1,000 easy. Yeah. I bought mine for $3. So yeah.
I still want the 50, but I want to get the RF 50 now.
Oh yeah. That so I was gonna say the 50, but recently that 85. Boy, I can't tell you. I mean, because the thing is like, it's the way that it creates that separation between the subject and the background, blur. And that blur is intense, man. You can't get that with the 50. Like,
you know who told me about? Do you know Dion Cooks? He's
I've seen him in the group chat or in the Facebook page.
Dion told me about the 85. I was on a nifty all the time. 85, I don't know, 50. So he told me about 85, and I gave it a little shot, a little bit, but I still stayed with the 50.
Word.
And then I started to test it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty nice. So he tried to put me on earlier, but I didn't get it.
Bro, that 85 is butter. Like, it's crazy butter. The only thing I don't like about the 85 is the fact that like you have to be so far away.
Yeah, and they can't really.
You can't really be that close to your subject, and I mean that does. I mean, if you're trying to get a whole body shot, then yeah, you got to be pretty far away. But if you're just getting like portraits, then you'll be fine with just being 20 feet away or so. But that mug takes incredible photos, man. And especially nice. So I just did I own an 85, but I own like a older brand of or it's a Canon. It's not L series.
Yeah,
no,
I got that one.
You got an L series 85?
That one right there, right? The 85.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
I got that same one. But when we did the photography camp, we had the L series 85 RF.
Ooh.
1.2.
Ooh.
Bro.
That's nice. That one 3,000.
It was 3,000. Yeah, it was like $27.99.
The only lenses I want left is the 85 L series, and then I want the nifty 50. Those only 10.
You got to get that 28-70, bro.
28-70?
Yeah, the 2.0.
I got the 24-70.
No, it's not the same.
It's heavier. I felt
Bro.
that thing. I had the 28 to 70.
It is
went
heavy.
I'm like, oh,
but
nah.
bro, when I tell you,
The 2.0.
the difference is insane. So like the reason I bought mine was because I saw it on we used it. We went to borrow lenses, and I don't know if anyone ever like rents equipment.
I love borrow lenses.
Borrow lenses is the spot, especially if you're in Fresno, because Horn Photo, I love them to death.
We're not sponsored by borrow lenses, but if you guys want to sponsor this video, please reach out to us, and we can definitely,
Absolutely. But it was crazy. Like number one, you get it for a whole week, for the same price that Horn does for 2 days.
Yeah.
So that's what like blew my mind.
I noticed that Horn Photo charges more for equipment too as well. And then they don't have certain things that you would find on like B&H, Adorama, or Sam's camera. They don't have the same.
And the reason they had them prices is because they don't have the competition here.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things I've been like,
you know what I really want to do? Open up another camera store.
dog.
You know, in a different side of town too, because you gotta go way to River Park.
Yeah.
But no, shout out to Horns Photo. You know, I go there a lot. Every time I walk in, they know me because like I spend a lot of money there. You know, so I never want to talk down on Horns Photo.
Oh, not at all.
You know, they got a great selection in Fresno.
Not at all. They do great, and then they like when I first started in photography, like they helped me like pick my lens. They even like let me like test the lens for like a couple hours. So like I was like, yeah, go ahead, take it. I'm like, y'all don't even know me like that.
Yeah. So Horns is good, but it is a price difference.
Yeah.
And you know, most people want to get their most out of their money. So there's other avenues and venues to rent gear,
definitely,
and also buy it and purchase it. But
I think that it would be good, like going back to you saying like, okay, you've been wanting to open up a shop. If we opened up a camera shop, that's how I said
we should open.
But it would be a good thing because I think the touch is a little bit different. As for like Horn Photo, they're really established, they're good and going. But like opening up something new then gives other people to say, hey, like I think I can do this. I want to try this out.
I feel like Horns Photo, nothing, like I said, nothing bad about them, but I noticed that they're not in tune with the new gear. Like I would go in there, I was like, do you guys know about aperture? Oh, no, we don't carry it. I don't want to know about it. I'm like, well, it's still good to, as a customer, to have just, that conversation about the newest, latest gear. Yeah,
and I mean, they're a little late when it comes to like the technology boost. I think where they thrive and where they've been thriving is just like in printing of photos, in like other type of gear stuff like accessories. But like even when the R6 first came out, bro, they didn't have it.
They didn't have it. And you go to LA, they have it on display.
Bro, I was like, you don't have the R6? He's like, yeah, we don't have it. People been coming here all day. I'm like, exactly.
You see it online.
Yeah.
But you want to actually see the physical thing to see if you want
to touch it, to feel it, to even utilize it and be like, okay, cool, yeah, this is what I want.
I got a question. Were you able to rent the 28 to 70 at Horns?
No.
Did they have it?
No, they still don't have it. They still don't have a 28 to 70, which I've been like, I'm only one person. I don't run their company and they can do whatever they want. But when I was saying, I was like, dude, like this lens could bring you a ton of business, because I think their most rented lenses.
They make money though.
They do make money.
They make money.
But like that was my thing. Like if you're making this much money, if it were me, I would get the 28 to 70, and I would literally just buy two of them, leave that 6,000, wait till I made that 6,000 back, and then buy more. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, folks will use that thing. They will use the mess out of it. So I'm like, look, I'm doing my best to go ahead and like, be ready for the crowd when it comes, but I'm not going to be on the late freight. Yeah. And I kind of feel like Horn Photo, they just kind of do whatever they want. Yeah. And that's up to them because it's their company.
That's true. They making money though.
They making bank.
They making money.
Yeah.
I actually applied to work there. I don't know if I got a call back or nothing, but now that was like early on. Like now I feel like I'm overqualified.
Oh, I was about to say.
Not to say like that, but I feel like
no, you can't work behind no desk, bro. Ain't no way.
No, I'm not going back to 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm just saying now I feel like I know too much. Like it might be conflict of interest, like trying to sell a camera to a new person. It's like, you don't need this.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, no. But yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Go ahead and let them know where they can find you on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Your website, your social media.
For sure. Yeah. So if you want to, you can check out my website at brandondon'tshoot.com. My Instagram is the same, Brandon Don't Shoot, at Instagram.com. And then also you can check out my wife and I's page together. It's Photography with J&B. And then that one is it's up, but we don't have any content on there yet because we're trying to go live for our first one. But being married, it's hard to find time to do things together. But yeah, those were definitely places where you can find me.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on the show, Brandon. I'm pretty sure we're going to have you again on the show.
Yeah, I would love to, man.
I just want to say continue to shoot. Your work is cool. I like it. You know what I'm saying? So
Thank
that's
you.
why I have you on here. I'm not going to have nobody on here. That's horrible. So, yeah. So I just want to thank you for coming on and taking the time out because, you know, we've been here for almost, you know, hours setting up and stuff. But, you know, a lot of people don't take time out their day, and I just appreciate you coming out.
Oh, bro, it's a pleasure. Literally a pleasure. If y'all ever get a chance to meet Jerry in person, man.
Oh, man,
one of the coolest dudes I ever.
Man.
I'm not even gassing you up, bro. Like I've been told my wife, I was like, man, we got to get like closer to them because like they just dope. Like you got a dope family.
We got to go on a double date.
Yeah,
we got to do
absolutely,
something,
man. Get our kids together and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. My kid's bad though, man. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna bring him out. Nah,
my kid's bad too, but you know, when they around other kids, they act okay.
Yeah.
I'll be like, look, don't say nothing that's gonna get you punched in the mouth. Okay, like that's on you. So you're gonna hang out with these kids if you want to, but you better watch your mouth.
That's what's up. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.